You already tried the prompts. You already automated the easy stuff. Maybe it worked. Maybe it gave you something generic and you gave up. Either way, you are not asking, how do I use AI anymore? You are asking a bigger question. In a world where AI can write, build, and do half your job, what skill is still worth learning? I looked into this and I found 6 skills. None of them need a fancy degree. None of them need special connections. You can start learning every single one this weekend. And here is the part that matters most. Every one of these 6 skills gets more valuable as AI gets better, not less. So let's get into it. Skill 1. Knowing how to set up AI agents properly and run them. Think of this as the grown-up version of prompt engineering. You already know how to write a good prompt. That got you this far. The next level is different. The next level is designing a small AI employee, one with context, with tools, with permissions, with memory, with a goal, and with a way to check its own work before it bothers you. Here is why this matters for you specifically. Every company you work with right now has the same problem. 10 AI tools, 50 half-working automations, and nobody who can turn that mess into a real system. That is not what companies want. They do not want more tools. They want someone who can walk in and say, here is your support agent. Here is what it's allowed to do. Here is where it needs your approval. And here is how we know it's working. That person becomes very hard to replace. Now, part of this skill is running models locally on your own machine. Not everything needs to touch the cloud. Some workflows need privacy, some need speed, some need to stay behind the wall completely. If you learn tools like Olema or LM Studio, you start to understand something most people never will. What can happen on your own laptop and what genuinely needs the cloud. So here is how you start this weekend. Build a daily briefing agent just for yourself. Give it 3 sources, your calendar, a folder of notes, a handful of saved links. Its only job: tell you what matters today, what decisions are waiting on you, what follow-ups you owe people. Then add one rule: it has to show its sources and it has to ask before it sends anything. That one small project teaches you everything: context, retrieval, tool use, permissions, evaluation. It sounds small, it might even feel boring, but that is the actual shape of almost every serious agent inside a real company. Most people try to build something huge first. Don't. Build small, make it useful, give it one clear metric. Did it save you 10 minutes? Did it catch something you would have missed? If yes, you're learning the skill. Skill 2. Marketing. Specifically, knowing how to build distribution, not just post content. People confuse the two. Posting is not distribution. Distribution means you already know where the attention lives. You know what people are already worried about. You know the exact words they use to describe their problem. And you turn that into trust before you ever ask them to buy anything. Here is the shift happening right now. Building a product is getting easier. Anyone can spin up a landing page or an app in a weekend. So building demand is what actually separates people now. The marketers who win this next stretch are part researcher, part storyteller, part media operator. They take one insight and turn it into 10 things: a post, a short video, a headline, a newsletter angle, a sales conversation. So here's your move this weekend. Pick one niche you actually care about. Write down 20 places where their attention already goes. What do they read? Who do they follow? What do they search? What do they already pay for? Then write one sentence they would say out loud about their problem. Something like, I know I should follow up faster, but by the time I sit down, the lead is already cold. That sentence is where distribution starts, because now you're standing in their shoes, not yours. Stop asking, how do I promote this once it's built? Start asking, what do they already want and how do I point this at it? That single shift changes the quality of everything you make. Skill 3. And I know this one sounds far from where you started: robotics and hardware. Stay with me, because this affects you even if you never touch a robot arm. For 20 years, software was the whole game. People moved pixels around and built entire careers on it. I think the next decade rewards people who can move atoms too. That used to mean PhDs and expensive labs. Not anymore. Cheap robot arms exist now. Cheap cameras, open source tools, communities sharing code and data. You can start learning this with far less money than 5 years ago. Here's what actually matters, even if you're not building robots yourself. The real skill is connecting 3 things: the hardware, the AI layer, and whether it can actually be manufactured and shipped. The person who understands all three becomes very hard to replace, even in an office job, because more physical products are about to have an AI layer bolted on, and someone will need to translate between the engineer, the factory, and the AI. If this interests you, here's the weekend version. Get a $50 robot arm, add a cheap camera, teach it one boring task: sorting 3 objects, pressing a button, then document every single failure: bad camera angle, bad lighting, slipping grip. That failure list is the whole skill. Robotics teaches humility fast, and that humility becomes your edge. Skill 4, curation. You've seen these people online talking to camera, explaining what just happened, taking over your feed. The internet is drowning in information right now, so the person who can make sense of it in public becomes valuable. Curation used to mean here are 5 links. It's evolved. Now it means here's the new update and here's what it actually means for your job. The best curators watch something happen and say clearly, this matters because, not neutral, not just forwarding a link. They pick a side. Most people think this means X. I think it actually means Y. Here's the move. That structure right there is the whole skill. So here's your 7-day version. Pick one lane: Copilot workflows for office teams or AI for small business owners. Every day, find 3 interesting things happening in that lane. Make one short video, same structure every time. I saw this. Most people think it means this. I think it actually means this. Here's the move. Do that for a week. You'll notice something. Having an opinion is what makes curation worth watching. Skill 5. The builder distributor, the person who builds the thing and also gets it in front of people. For years, there was a clean split. One person built, another person sold. AI is erasing that line. Now you can prototype the product, write the launch post, record the demo, and message the first 100 people all in the same week. That's leverage, because you're not waiting on a handoff. You complete the whole loop yourself. Build, share, watch where people get confused, change the product, try again. Most people only do half of this. Some build in private forever and never launch. Others talk in public forever and never ship. Here's your 48-hour version. Pick one tiny problem you personally understand. Build the smallest possible version with AI. It can be ugly: a script, a form, a rough web app. Then create 10 pieces of distribution before you feel ready. One demo video, 3 short clips, 3 posts, 2 direct messages to someone who has the problem. You are training yourself to stop separating the product from the market. That gap is where most good ideas quietly die. Skill 6, and this one is going to sound old-fashioned. Right after 5 AI-heavy skills. That's exactly why it matters. Building community in real life. As more work moves into chats, feeds, and agents, real rooms get more valuable, not less. AI makes content abundant. AI makes advice abundant. So scarcity moves somewhere else. It moves to belonging, to trust, to the people who would actually answer your text, who would help you hire someone, who would give you the honest version of what's happening in their world. Here's your version of this, and it doesn't need to be a big event. 6 to 8 people. One sharp question. A dinner, a walk, a breakfast, doesn't matter. Something like, what are you automating in your job right now? Invite people who can actually answer it. Afterward, send a short recap, best quotes, best ideas, one clear follow-up for everyone. That recap is what turns a single room into a real network. And a network is the one thing AI still can't build for you. So here's your list. 1. Run AI agents, don't just prompt them. 2. Build distribution, not just content. 3. Understand how physical things get built, even if you never touch a robot arm. 4. Curate with an actual opinion. 5. Build it and ship it yourself. 6. Bring people into real rooms. Here's the bigger point. There are too many tools now for anyone to master all of them. The advantage goes to the person who can combine a few. You don't need to be great at all 6. Pick one and get dangerous at it. Pick 2 and you have real leverage. No one knows exactly what the job market looks like in 5 years. But this much is clear. Your skills are your shield. If this was useful, send it to someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.